why does nothing ever work out like we planned? I'm going to call this beautiful Italian lakes, because in my 20s I lived in London. Pretty good job in the police there. My wife had a good job, ex-wife, and we used to plan these wonderful holidays and go out to the Italian lakes. But we didn't just fly there, we decided to drive and stop in Paris and all these lovely places. And on paper it looked really good, but in reality it was a nightmare because I was drinking too much. So all these plans that we make are a fantasy if we drink too much. And the idea was to travel initially, the first time I went, was to travel down to Paris, have a few days there and just take it easy. Well, I'd finished night duty, drove down straight away to Dover. Got the ferry across, had a few drinks from there, so you'd have to drive. Obviously, let's start arguments straight away. But I've been working all night, I had a few drinks. Then you got to Paris, and we booked this lovely hotel in central Paris, about a mile from the Champs-Elysees. And she said I'm going to have a bit of a nap. I thought, that's fine. That's time for me to go on the sauce, isn't it? So I hit a few of the bars a little bit away from the main drag, which was a bit cheaper. And I was in there for about half an hour. About the hotel, she was still asleep. I thought, bollocks, I'll just go on the sauce. There was no mobile phones then, you see. I don't think there were even pages then, it was a long time ago. And I got completely pissed, basically. And then ended up in this weary sort of club place in Paris somewhere. I can't even remember what happened. Eventually got back to the hotel. I don't know how I got back to the hotel. I think I jumped like a taxi somehow and got back. And obviously hell on there, more arguments, that sort of thing. Felt so terrible the next day. I said I can't drive again. Jesus, what I can't. This is the first time I went, kept doing this. Trying to make things right. Anyway, it was all my fault at the time of the drinking. I drove down a little bit further, went through Switzerland, stayed there a couple of times, but again, same sort of thing. I just hit the bar before I'd even unpacked anything. I always had loads of bottles of beer in the back of the car. Then we did another stop somewhere else when you got down to this Lake Garda. We used to go there before it was really popular. I went down there sort of 40 years ago, really. It's very popular now. It's probably too touristy now, but we used to go to this thing called Eurocamp, where everything's set up for you, right on the edge of the lake. It was a beautiful setting, actually, because if you've ever been to the Italian lakes, it's very mountainous, and the scenery, because the Swiss-Italian border is fantastic. If I was sober, I would go now with my partner. I would enjoy it. I didn't enjoy that. I enjoyed the beer and the bars and the pizzas with the drink, the steins of lager. That's what I enjoyed. So we used to go to this place called Bardolino now and again and have a little meal and that sort of thing. But I was always on the drink. I had all this stash of drink in the car, so she would go to bed and I would just sit under the stars on a deck chair or something and just listen to music and drink more and drink more and then drink more and just drink more. And everything just went to ratchet. And then we just used to argue all the time. But looking back, was it my fault? I don't know. The misery of alcohol, though, it created, I felt terrible. I had to drive back, she would do all the driving, and then there was more arguments, and then the whole of the holiday was spent, nearly 3 weeks the first time, and it was supposed to be a really relaxing time. There's nothing relaxing about being an alcoholic. You never get a day off being an alcoholic. And the fantasy versus reality is so stark. Because the fantasy stuff, have a lovely time, like everybody normal. We want to be normal, don't we? Have a few drinks. Mate might say, it'd be nice to go down there, have a beer at lunchtime and a bit of pasta. It was never like that with me. I was drinking in the morning and drinking all day. Because that was my time off. I didn't drink when I was at work, but on my holidays I used to go crazy. And then it would take me 2 or 3 days to sober up, but every day we used to go, I was just hoping it was a better day. But when you got the heat, you've got domestic issues, you've got all sorts going on. The drink just takes over your life, doesn't it? And you feel terrible. You start the hair of the dog then. That's when I first started drinking in the mornings. As soon as I woke up. And the need for a drink, rather than the want for a drink, was extremely strong, even then, in my late 20s. I knew I had an issue with it then. But I always thought the holidays would make things better. Change of scenery, different people, different drinks, different food. But it all came down to one thing, the alcohol again. Just the lagers, the beers, the strong stuff, whatever I could get really. I didn't drink wines or spirits, but I used to love the strong lagers. When I got into these steins, I actually brought a couple to bring home. And then I used to drink the steins to drink at home. I mean, what's all that about? At the end of the day, it's crazy, isn't it? So all of the fantasy was just wiped out by reality within 24 hours, really. It ended up being a waste of time, the whole thing of going away. But we used to just keep doing it to try and make things better. I used to do it because I wanted to get away from the hustle and bustle of London, the job I did, and I thought I'm going to have a relaxing time. I never had a relaxing time. I always came back from holiday more stressed than when I left, because I found it more difficult to hide the drink, to manipulate myself to being, I know what the off license is, or got to find a new supply when you go abroad, don't you? What time's the camp shop open? What time's the camp shop shut? Can I go to the warehouse, the big supermarkets and get like 25 cases? No, I couldn't do that. And if I tried to buy that much, I'd go crackers. Obvious reasons, maybe, I don't know. So it was hard. I was more stressful being away, because my focus wasn't the sunshine or the lakes or the food or any romance. It was just booze. So nothing changed really. So I never had a good holiday when I was drinking. Never ever had a good holiday, because in my mind, I say the fantasy versus reality comes in my mind. I sort of knew that I wouldn't be sitting having a coffee in the morning, an espresso with all the Italians. I'd be finding the local bar with a few old soaks who were watching some replay of an Italian football match and shouting and screaming at 10 o'clock in the morning. That was the reality of it all, and I was wrapped up in that. And I was very selfish then. I just didn't care what happened to me, or anybody else, to be honest, as long as I got my drink. And at night I'd sit up outside 3 or 4 in the morning. Everyone else had gone to bed in the campsite. All you see was you had security guard walking by in Alsatian. You have news as well. I was sitting outside on a deck chair 4 o'clock in the morning with bottles of beer on me. The whole thing with alcohol would completely ruin your holiday, any vacation, any trips that you have, and you've got to snap out of it, as soon as you can, because I'll probably left it a bit too late in life to get off it fully. I mean, I was off for 8 years and relapsed again. I've been off nearly 6 years now. I can't go back on now because I'm going to die, and my life's good now. So if you're having these sort of issues with time off, holidays, you're feeling a bit rough, you're feeling a need for a drink rather than a want for a drink, then that's when things have changed. That's when you slip past the heavy drinking stage and you're into the alcoholism, or the alcohol use disorder, it's called. Some people say. I just call it alcoholics. Alcoholic needs drink, that's it. I'm a bit black and white with that. Maybe it's old fashioned, I don't know. But I was 100% alcoholic. I needed a drink all the time, in the end. But it crept up quite quickly, and it will do that with you unless you get off it. I do one-to-one mentoring support. If you're interested, get in touch with me. My numbers all over the place now, and there's a link in the description. If you benefit from the videos, then please like and share and subscribe. I'll do a live tonight at 9 o'clock, and I'll speak to you all very soon.